Okay, so I know it's strange that I've got the door open and the light on, but it's quite dull as I film this right now, and I've been using quite a lot of the Yoo-hoo glue, so I've actually opened the door just to let the fresh air in for a bit. So that's me got the last bit of the back scene on. I've just used one bit of grey board for that. It is overlapping a little bit off the grey board, and I've stuck on another Google Street View image. Now this one was very difficult to actually get because, as I've said to you already, I'm going to be putting a bus garage into here, so I need to get a bus garage entrance, as it were. And as I say, it was quite difficult to actually find one, but I did find one eventually. This one is the Art Deco and very superb looking former United garage in Portland Terrace, Jesmond, Newcastle upon Tyne. It's actually now Arriva, Northumbria. Don't worry about the fact that there's cars parked out there. It is still open to this day, and the buses are kept inside the depot there. It's a superb looking depot. Dates back to the days of United Automobile Services. So basically my plan is to put something like that along there, and I'd need to cut a little notch there for a fire exit and another one along there, and put some cladding on the top there. And the alternative is actually just to have it starting there. You know, that actually looks a bit better because we've also got the garage up to there. So I'll maybe actually do that instead. It means I'll have to put something behind here to support the garage on as well, but we'll try and work that out. But I've got quite a few things that I need to think about here, and I need to obviously wrap up this next. But that's what that is. We've got the bus garage, and that's the last of the street view images needed for this street scene here. I still need to get street view images to simulate roads there and a retail park there. But I'm very... oh, there we go. That's the last of the street view images for the main street scene there. So the next thing I need to do is to somehow work out how to attach all of this together. I could create the garage like that, with the roof then going off. So there's a couple of options, so I'm going to have a little think about that and a little play. And I've also got the wall to go along here. I've also got to remove this and replace it with the retaining wall, so quite a bit to do. Well, this has been taking just over an hour's work to actually get to this stage. Wrong bit there, and I'm just going to show you. I've not got the bus garage bit ready yet, but it's going to go in there, and I'll have to cut a little bit off that, as you'll see, to make it fit in properly. But that's certainly where we're up to there. So there's a lot of technicalities to actually go through this, but this is a retaining wall starting to get positioned in here. I think eventually all of this is actually going to have to come up or be as hard standing here. It's going to either it'll have to come up eventually, and I think what I'll do is I'll replace it all with scale model scenery concrete, similar to what you've got here. I'll do it that way, so it means that a lot of things are going to come up. These are going to go, and a yard lamp will get situated in here. In fact, with the first yard lamp, I'll keep these two skips around about this area. This will have to come off, but that's come off quite easily, so that's alright. And then we'll get much more work done. I'll have to come up to the height to cover all of that there. And I've got these brackets here which I'll have to watch with as well. So that's certainly how it's coming up to now. So I'm now at the mercy of the post office and scale model scenery, because I'll order some more stuff to carry on with some more of the retaining wall along here. And I'll order some concrete sheets as well, so I can get started on renewing this whole area here. So we've now got quite a bit of work started, and there's still quite a bit of work to do. But that's certainly what it looks like there. You'll notice I've not put the top on there. There's a good reason for that. It's obviously I'm going to be coming up to this here, so I'll have to measure it after I've got it on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the remainder of the bus garage, And then we'll have a look from there. Nice sunny morning as I film the next bit of it. It's actually this Thursday start of the Jubilee celebrations. Very, very warm. We'll do a wee bit of gardening in a minute. But so this is the first panel installed, and my idea of having it slotting in isn't going to work because obviously the sheets have got to overlap. You'll also notice a mistake I've made here is actually with the first sheet along, grey board along, cutting it long ways. If I cut it the other way, I'll actually be able to get it to go a bit longer. See, there's one there, and it's more than halfway if I do it, if I cut it that way. So I'm going to lose out in sheets. So by doing it this way, I'll get more use of the grey board. So it'll probably come along to here. So I'm going to get more use of the grey board, so hopefully I won't have to order much more. It's going to be tricky just getting all into place, but we'll get there. So what I'm going to have to do is my original idea of having it slotting in, I'm going to have to abandon. There's nothing I can do about it, and look, if something gets stuck, it's not too much for me to actually put my hand in and get something out of there. If it's coaching stock, it'll be easy to pull out. If it's a loco, I can push it up a little bit, so it's not too bad. This is all going to have to get chipped away, and this is all going to come off. So we'll get on and get the next bits cut on there. Now whilst I'm actually here, and before I start doing the next bit, and we'll see how far we get with progress, just give a couple of quick shout outs. We'll start off with New Durham Junction and also Barnabas Junction. So if you check those two layouts out, they're both here on YouTube. And Barnabas Junction, Jason, who runs that, does some regular Tuesday live programmes from his layout. So go and check out Barnabas Junction, and also, as I say, New Durham Junction, set up in the northeast of England. So I've got another bit of the rock face off. I've managed to get some of this on now, and I'm actually nailing it, or using little pins to pin it there. Before I put each bit of grey board on, I'm painting this bit here, because obviously I'm keeping that. Some of it's torn up, but as you see, that'll get painted. Up here, I'll just have to put more scatter material down once the retaining wall's in. Now, down here, I'm building the ballast up to here, and I'll put a PVA water mixture on that, let that set, and I'll also, after that's done, put more scatter material on, like here, and then let that set as well. I haven't put any of the angle at the bottom here. I'm just going to keep it at the top, but for the next bit of retaining wall, it's going to be coming, the paper itself is going to be coming down a bit. So all in all, it's looking okay. It's certainly looking a lot better than the rock face, and it's certain areas like this here, I'm going to have to just fashion a way to cover that over. I'm needing to get some more Yoo-Hoo glue, so I think I'll go and get some shopping done as well. Come back in the afternoon and do a bit more of this. But you won't have to wait several hours, you'll just have to wait several seconds to see further progress. That's the first time in a long while that bit of track's seen the light of day there, the ramp. I've managed to get the rest of this off now, and you'll see I've managed to secure Mum's memorial as best I can. This has actually come loose here, so I'll get glued back down. So now I can go ahead with pinning the rest of this along here. I'm only going to have the retaining wall coming up to here, I think anyway, or I may actually fashion it to go there. I then have to put filler into this bit. So I'm going to crack on a bit more. I've got paint down, brown paint down where the foliage was, and what will happen is once I've got this retaining wall on, I'll get the rest of the ballast in here, and I'll get some cover, ground cover on the top here as well, and get it all glued down so it looks a lot better. It isn't an easy task, but it's certainly a satisfying task when you consider what it's going to look like at the end. I mean, there's That's what it is now. So I'll crack on and get a bit more done. Okay, so retaining walls when they were built in the 19th century weren't always the best things and they weren't straight. So I've got this gap here. I'm going to get the car body repair filler and use it in that. Fill that up, paint it brown. Now of course there was the question of clearance. I've already checked the sleeper coach round that and it's fine. So as you can see, if I turn the if I can get that there, you can see that it actually works fine. So there's plenty of room there. So that's actually a good thing. So what I'll do is I'll get this sleeper train back in here. Get that down there temporarily. And what I'm going to do is I'll get the rest of the walling on here and then give all this track a clean and then get some more ballast in there and get that glued down. And whilst that won't be the finish of Operation Down Rockface, well not quite because I've still got the foliage up here to put in, I have managed to save Mum's memorial, which I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with. So I'll get these coaches back out of the way again, put them somewhere else on the layout, and I've got to do a special photo shoot as well for this being the Jubilee weekend, so I'll just put that there. And if I can get some walling, I'll maybe run a bit along the top there as well. So we'll just see how I go with that. I'll have to try and think up of something, but anyway, we'll get to that. And obviously I'll need to put ballast in here too. Quite a big gap there to be filled up, but we'll fill it. Right, so what I've done now, the retaining wall is complete, and you'll also notice the ballast between the tracks here at the reception side had never been glued down. So along with the ballast I've put down today and some scatter material, I've got that glued down. I might need to put some more scatter material down at a later date. Let that dry for a couple of days. So that's all glued down and that's all drying. This, as I say, will get left for a couple of days. But as you can see, I've got that all up to there now. Now I've cleaned the track, but once the ballast's dried I'll give the track another clean. But I'll get the sleeper train back in, which of course with the Mark III sleeper coach is the longest coach on the layout, and you can just see there, no you can't because my camera's in the wrong position, there we go. It's passed there with no trouble whatsoever. Two other layouts to check out on here on YouTube as Shrewford and Warpampton, both N-gauge layouts, so go and give them a check out if you could please. Both are set in the BR sectorisation era. Also while you're at it, give a shout out to a very popular layout run by Richard Watson, who's on the editorial team at Hornby magazine, and that is New Junction. He's actually recently moved house and therefore started rebuilding his layout, so go and give him a check out. So that's got to dry now for a couple of days, and once it's dried we'll leave it. I'll give the track another clean. So what we're going to turn our attention to is here again, because I've got something else from Scale Model Scenery, and it is these. Now this is TX19900 Tango X-Ray 199 Oscar Oscar, and what we're going to use them for, that's concrete sheets. This is going to get replaced with those concrete sheets round the buffers here and form walkways up there. This is likely to stay where it, this will stay where it is. I've had a job getting it off, so that's going to have to stay where it is. Now this will get all covered over, and then once I've got that done, I don't need that bit either, we'll have the skips and this little jings, this little gas tank to go back on, this little building here, and that'll sit there. So that's what's going to cover there, and Derek here, our fuel man, he'll be going back on there too. It'll help cover this hole over as well that you see here, so that's going to be the next task, but I'm going to actually let this all dry for a couple of days, give it a little breather and then come down to it and make a start on the concrete hard standing. You see, will look a hell of a lot better. In addition, these walkways here are going to have to get replaced. Now the problem I've got is I've got two wires there, so I'm going to have to find out a way of dealing with that, but I'm pretty sure that there'll be a way to deal with that. I'm also going to have to dust the tops of my coaches. David Watson at Dean Park Station mentioned that, so that'll be getting done as well, and I'll just use some wet wipes for that. So I'll get the concrete area in here, and then I've got to somehow fathom out how I'm going to get this bus depot put here. I have lots of spare grey board, so there is a possible way I could do it, but I've got time to think about that while I'm doing this here. Well, it's a very baking hot Saturday, but Friday was baking hot too as I film this. It's the Jubilee weekend, so one or two bits still loose, but as you can see it's pretty much solid. Now what I'll have to do at a later date is of course put more ground cover down here and here. But this is actually all dry, this ballast now, so that's the siding here completed, and in another shot I'll be running a test train down here using 47835 Windsor Castle, bringing in the sleeper stock. We'll have a go with that, make sure everything's hunky-dory, working alright, and then we'll get on with the next task. I have gave the track a quick clean by the way as well, so all of this area is pretty much ready now. Attention's now going to turn to starting to put the concrete down, and this time the concrete is actually not going to be this stuff here, but it's going to be sitting on grey board, and it's concrete sheets, all by scale model scenery. So we'll go and have a look at that, and we'll get that started. Whilst I'm here, and whilst I'm remembering everything else, do check out the Glenrothes Model Railway Club Facebook page and interact with them, see what they've got to say, and also check out on Twitter Network South East Latchmere. He's set in the Network South East era. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we're going to need for this next bit. We need some 1mm grey board. This is the concrete sheeting I'm talking about, pack of 5. If it looks familiar, it's because I've already used it over in the station area. And indeed, when I come to replace these lamps with these lamps, this will do well to cover over there as well. Yoo-hoo glue can get stuck into things. Ah yes, I'll get my coat, craft knife, steel rule, and just hope we don't do a Justin Noble and cut our finger live on air. So the first task is obviously I think would be to get the concrete put in around here. It'll also help fill this hole up. So what I'm looking at doing is putting the couple of pads here and here, getting them brought up, and then seeing how we go with that, and then maybe putting a couple of pads here as well, and then that way this whole area here will then be concreted over. It's going to take more than one bit of concrete to do that, or grey board, so I have got plenty spares. And you'll see I'll also need to cut some sheets as well, so I do have quite a few bits of grey board, so they'll certainly be able to get on with that. Anyway, we'll get started, get cracking on with that, and we'll see what we can do. Well, this is it now, and you can see here that's that now in position, and I've started getting these bits put in. I'm going to run a test train down later on just to see how things are, and you'll notice as well that I've got up to here done. I'll be putting a joining piece in there which I'll glue down there, and that'll let that sit down like that. And then we'll carry on. This ballast is coming out and it will be going there. And then we'll carry on and we'll get another bit done. It's a bit awkward here, but this is the best I could do the now. This is this building again. See, it's sitting on there. I don't know, because it would also be good to actually have a yard light here. And I think having a yard light and this here might be a bit too much. Yard light I'll be probably putting in the middle there. That's not getting built until I've got everything else done here. So I'll crack on and get the rest of this done up here, which will take over a couple of days of work. Good job I've got the weekend off. And then I'll do the next aisle. This last one is going to be awkward because obviously the cement's already down there, but we'll find a way around that problem. And obviously I've got the bit in here to do as well up to the fueling point. So I'll carry on, get some more done, and then we'll have a look at where we are. Sorry about the shadows here, such a nice afternoon. I'm about to go and watch some rugby union, but I thought I'd do a bit more work here before I went up and watched it. So we've got this back in place, but I haven't stuck it down. That's actually just a Bachmann kiosk, but I've used it as a little control unit for the fuel pump. Derek, our fuel man, is back in position. And the 47 has run into the platform, no bother. Now, off camera, I did run the 47 in here. It did derail a couple of times, but that's actually just because of some ballast that was still stuck on the track. So I've run it again and it seems to be okay now, but I'll run a couple of 47s down that. But this is in position now and it's starting to look a lot better. I've got this gap here, but I have a cunning plan for filling that with. So my next task is just to simply do some more of the walkways, see how much of the concrete sheeting I use. I'll probably need to order more. And then, once I've got that done, I'll turn my attention back to the bus depot. So I'm going to go up and watch the rugby. But I can't resist doing this while I've got it here. Fill her up, Derek. There we go. Derek, the fuel man's back in position, as you know. So I've managed to get the concrete walkways on here and on this side done. So these two roads are now complete. This is the exact same bit that you previously saw before that had this on it. What I've done is I simply put a piece of the concrete over the hard standing. And I've got the sections cut out for here. to go along. The only snag is that I'm running out of concrete bits, so I'm going to do a bit for round here to complete this whole area, and that'll allow me to get the skips back on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the bus garage here now. The light isn't too good here, so I do apologise, but I've got the structure for the back of the bus garage installed already, and I'm just going to have it as shorter now, so it doesn't overlap that tree, and also it means that it's not overlapping the entrance to Jesmond River depot there as well. So it'll involve me just cutting off some of that, and we'll get that put on. And we've got the corrugated industrial unit panelling ready to be installed onto the bits I've cut out. So that's going to be my next task. And then I'll have to obviously order more of this stuff, but that is going to be done for the July update instead. So once I've got the bus garage done, I think what we'll do is we'll crack on and put the first of the yard lamps in here that Dylan Sanderson once built. Whilst I'm actually on the topic of railways, check out the Network South East Railway Society, both on their own webpage, nsers.org, and also on Facebook. So if you could give them a check out, and if you love your Class 47s like me, and why wouldn't you? There's a Facebook page for the Class 47, and there's also a website, www.class47.co.uk. I must make it clear that the two are independent of each other. Right, bus garage time. So let's show you what we've got. Where have I put it? Here we are. So you can see I'm going to have to cut that and put it like that. I need to have it like that. And then I'll have to somehow get the roof on there as well, so that'll slot in there once it's cut, and we'll get a roof onto it as well. We'll get a side onto it here, and that should be the job done. Obviously I've got to put the panelling on too, and then we'll get the name Kelvin Central Buses Clydebridge Depot stuck onto it, and once we do that we'll get on with the yard lamp. So same idea for this as I've done for building the B&Q in the Halford. It's over here. You can see what I've done there. Same idea. We'll put another piece over the top here to simulate like it's been built on top of the brick, and then we'll get cracking on with that. Well, that's the overall structure there of the bus garage, built, making it look like an extension of the one there at Jesmond. There you go, you see it better now. And these materials here were materials that I had left over, including the grey board. Still got a couple of sheets of that left, but these were materials left over, of course, from the rebuilding of the retail park covered earlier this year. So I'll need to get Kelvin Central Buses Clydebridge Depot signage onto that. I've also added a bit more concrete here in an L shape, and I've got my skips back on it and the gas canister. There was a gap here where I haven't obviously cut it straight, and I've had the same problem over here. A mate of mine, when I showed him photos of it, suggested possibly doing something to fill in the gaps there. So what I've done, I've got some of this spare Gauge Master grass, and I've just put it in there to fill the gap up, making it look like it's a bit that's not too well kept. As you got to all railway depots, I'm sure there were these little bits that weren't kept as well as other bits. So that's what's happened there. So next bit, get the sign made up for that. We'll get that stuck on, and then he looks for it. The next thing will be build this, the yard light. I know Dylan Sanderson's built one of these before and for scale model scenery, so I will apologise if I'm duplicating it in advance, but I'll just show you bits as I go along, and I'm going to position it round about here. There we go. Okay, so that's what we'll get doing next. So there we have the Kelvin Central Buses Clydebridge Depot sign on it. That's actually the correct colour of the Kelvin Central bus's sign, but it's not the actual same font that was used by Kelvin Central after its management buyout from the Scottish Transport Group in the early 1990s. Rebranded as KCB Network. You won't find the company nowadays. It's actually absorbed into First Greater Glasgow, so it's not actually a company that exists as such anymore. But at the time in 1990, this would have been KCB territory, although as you'll see, I'm distinctly lacking in KCB vehicles. I've got one from Western Scottish, and obviously KCB's been rival Strathclyde's buses, who ironically went and bought KCB a few years later. But that's as close as I can get to what it would have been like. There perhaps would have been a Central Scottish logo back in the day when the depot belonged to Central Scottish, but we're out with that period, so KCB will do instead. Now there's one last thing that I've got left to build to complete this update, and it is this, the yard light. Now I fully appreciate I've done quite a lot in this video, and I don't want the video to be going on for much longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight ahead and build this, and what I'll do for the July update is I'll do a building of another of these, and also I've got something to do for the shopping centre area. I'm going to be building a little tourist map. Those two will get shown to you in the July update. So I'm just going to fire ahead and build this, although I will point out that you'll need some laser card kit glue and a jam jar with a bit of damp cloth in it, or damp tissue in it, so that your nozzle doesn't get clogged up. By the way, I know I've got Co-op strawberry jam there because I do buy stuff out of the Co-op, and there is a Co-op on the layout, but in the interest of fairness, other brands are available. So I'll get on and crack on and build this, and then we'll look at it at the end. And as I say, I'll do the actual full walkthrough of it in the July update. So there we have it. That is a completed depot yard lamp, and we've got the bus garage completed in the background. I might just get another depot person maybe walking around here at a later point. The only thing I've yet to do with this is to paint these black. I'm going to do that off camera another time. I'll let the glue set and then I'll try and paint them black. I'll keep them different from the rest of the yard lamp, which is sprayed using an aerosol primer, grey primer from Halford. So that's how you've got that effect there, and it got the one coat. It dried very quickly. So that's going to be what they say in television terms a wrap as far as this video is concerned. Now the next video that you'll be seeing on Clydebridge Station will be the delayed how to model the ScotRail Express video, and then we'll be returning with another update in July where I'll be trying to finish this off, and we'll also be building one of these. I'll be talking you through that, and I'll probably be putting it round about here, and we'll also be building a town map, illuminated town map that will be non-operational like, but one will go there and there'll be another one down at the railway station area. I'll be talking through that, so it'll be quite a busy video. Please do check out all the layouts that I've mentioned to you here on this video, and also check out the Network South East Railway Society, because the NSC's 36th birthday was on 10th of June 2022, so go and check that organisation out as well. All that remains for me to do now is to say thank you very much indeed for watching this video, and please will you take care of yourselves and enjoy your lights, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.